Well, good morning. This is our, well, it is Tuesday, April 7th, so that's the label I'll give this video. So welcome to this space. This is my attic office, I guess we'll call it. So whenever I do a video for a screen broadcast, I'll probably do it up here because it's the computer that I like to use. So a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to give the tech award to Jordan and Caden. Thank you guys. You guys were, it's actually kind of heartwarming seeing on the team's website that there were some questions coming up, and I actually had some students, Jordan and Caden, maybe a couple others actually talking and answering the questions before I could get to them. And that is awesome. So thank you guys. You guys get the tech award. I'll give you a Levi update. Levi is the 3-year-old next door. I actually stepped out on the driveway again, and Levi was out there again. But I think we're learning how to figure it out. He stays on the porch, so he doesn't have a chance to run and get within his 2 meters. So that's good. Another interesting story that happened a couple days ago. I was raking some leaves or something, and I hear this odd sound. It was about 7:30 at night, and it sounded like a ting 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 ting. I didn't know what was going on, so I kind of walked over to the sidewalk and looked over, and I see a whole bunch of people lined up, like spaced apart. They're actually on the sidewalk. It's almost like kind of everyone just stepped out of their house, walked to the sidewalk, kept their distance, but they had pots in their hands and they're banging them, and it's just this odd sight. It's kind of like, okay, this really does feel kind of end of worldish, like what's happening at this particular moment. And I, grabbed a couple more people over and say, family, check this out. What's going on? And we kind of, you do one of those, and we went back in the house. And later I hear that I think the whole purpose of it was you're supposed to make noise at a particular time during the day to say thank you to the healthcare workers who are really putting themselves in a difficult spot for themselves and for their families to deal with this whole situation. So if there's a healthcare worker watching this for whatever reason, a parent, thank you. And guys, if you know a healthcare worker, make sure that you show your appreciation. I don't know if the pot, going out on your country street and banging a pot is going to help at this particular point. But if you have a chance to say thank you in some way, please do. There were some other interesting little things that some of the students have actually been doing, which is pretty cool. I know we had one student say that they're actually making something for their neighbors to put on the window, so that just to give them some sort of hello. So we're in interesting times, and I love to hear stuff like that, where people are just making, again, the best of the situation. Through some of your comments in your first assignment, some of you are saying, really bored. I don't. That's a good problem to have sometimes. In what we say is that boredom creates creativity. So if you're bored, then you have to come up with a way to solve that problem, and you become more creative as a result. We play an awesome game as a family. It's called Cover Your Assets. It's a card game. And you just have 4 cards, and it's quite simple and fun. Anyway, so if you're looking for a fun card game for your parents to order, and you can still order things online, good one to grab. So, okay. So we had a couple questions about week expectations. What are you expected to do during this time? Just a quick reminder that this week is about communicating, me creating these things, and just us getting used to using Teams and getting used to using the tools so that we can communicate with each other through Teams and through the other methods. You guys can give each other emails through Outlook. You can send me emails through Outlook, and I do get those right away. Like I get notifications actually for Teams and for OneNote. And I'll be honest, it's actually kind of consuming because just give me a little bit of empathy because I do still have my own responsibilities here. I do have my kids are also doing online learning, and so I think I'll have to probably eventually just set times in the day, and which I am. I am available between 10 and 12 right now, but I think I might have to just shut myself off to the teaching world just so I can kind of deal with my own stuff here. Um, and so I will see your emails come through on my phone. I will see when you guys posting on Teams, but you'll have to be patient and don't just expect that I'll just kind of respond right away. I often do, but it is. I'm finding it kind of consuming. So just be aware of that. Um, so that's this week expectations, and there will be a routine here that we're going to follow. What I'm going to do is I'll make a video like this if it's appropriate. Again, I've got a lot to cover, a lot of things to talk about, so I'm going to make a video, and then what I'll do is I'll post that. I'll create a new tab on the top of Teams, and I'll show that when I do the screen broadcast here in a second. But the video will always come up in our post section, and I'll put it on the tab on the top. So if you go in and click on the tab on the top, click on the video. If it's an old video, you know there's nothing new, but my new videos I'll put on that tab. If you want, subscribe to the YouTube channel too, if that helps you get the notifications. I don't care about how many subscribers I get. It's not the purpose of the channel. It's just a place for me to actually put the videos up. Okay. I'll look, I guess I'll do the screen broadcast now just so that you can see. Oh, the other thing I was worried about with my videos is I know that some of you are sharing some of your fears, some of the just the issues that you and your family are having with this whole pandemic. Trust me, I have the same fears. We have the same kind of conversations here about again what it all means, and how we can react to it. When I'm doing all of this stuff, I will always try and put a positive spin on things. So I will do my best to talk about the positive things and the positive experiences that I'm having through this. But don't think that that doesn't mean I understand the weight of the situation. I understand exactly what this all means in a whole bunch of different ways. So I'm not naive about that. I just will be focusing on the positive because that's, in my mind, will always be the best course of action no matter what you're getting hit with in your life. And I've been hit with some things, so I'm a little bit of an expert in that area. So tomorrow or later in these videos, because there's too much to cover in this one, I am going to be talking about graduation, and because we have had a change in our strike status, and I know grade 8s, you're going to be curious about what maybe that will all look like. And what I'm willing to do to kind of still make it special if we have the worst case scenario and that we can't do it. So well, I'll keep you posted on that. Okay, so let me get you a quick little screen broadcast, and thank you, Maddie, for telling me about Zoom. That's actually what I'm using. It's faster like Teams actually has a screen broadcast and has a way for us to do a conference call. Looks like there's a fire outside. So let me start the screen broadcast. And there, oh yeah, do that, share that. Okay. So I feel like I'm in one of these video game guys right now. You see my picture on the right, you actually see my screen. I am using a Mac, but I'm going to go into Teams here. I can't show you certain things because I'm not allowed to actually let you see anybody's names in a YouTube video. So I am in Teams. I want you to notice here that this is where your posts are. So anytime you see, that's where Jordan answered some questions and whatnot. And anytime I post a video or an assignment, it will come up on post. Files, if I add anything for you to just have on a regular basis, I will put it in files, and there's nothing in there right now. So I can show you that. Our class OneNote is here. I can't click on it just in case your names come up. Actually, I think I will, because it was in an interesting tab. So when you go to class OneNote and you see something like this, if you click on this here, it'll actually show you your panel, which means it'll show you your actual OneNote tabs. When you do see your tabs, it's actually connected to our regular class OneNote content libraries. So you'll see some of the old things in there. And so you can actually access your class OneNote through our Teams OneNote. They are actually different, but they are linked in some ways. Your assignments, so you're gonna click on this, and most of you have actually looked at your assignment. Now, if you see here, you're looking on My Teacher One, so I actually will see how many people have turned it in. If you look at Jordan's comment, he actually in the post, he tells you how to turn it in, and I think it's when you actually click on assignments here, you will see, if you click on your assignment, then you will see it and you'll be able to write on it. A lot of you are confused about how to hand it in. I believe that there's a little turn in button that's on this screen for you guys. And when you are finished it, you just click that button. However, I can see it all the time. I can actually see you writing it in real time, and I can see if you viewed it. So I do know who has been on, who has not. And as of tomorrow, I'll have to contact some students who have not done that yet. The grade section is for me. Well, actually, I think you have it too. If I give you a grade, I think you can actually see it. And then this is the tab where I put my videos. So I'll post this one in this tab. So anytime you go up here, most of the things you use in Teams are going to be right here, and my video will be here, but it'll also show up in post. Other things for you to look at, and I'm just going to bring my screen down here. You'll see that you guys can do this too, and I see some of you have already figured it out. You can click on your little icon here, and you can set your status. So I've got mine to busy right now. As of 10 o'clock, I'll make it as to available. So if I am online, you can catch me by, you just look at my profile and you can see if I am available. If I'm available, you can send me direct messages. I'll try to get in the habit of saying busy or something if I'm just working away on something or actually marking some stuff. So that's that part. Now, getting messages to me. So let's say we're in the live part of the day. So it's between 10 and 12 this week, and there'll be some other times in future weeks. You can use these functions, okay? So right here is a new chat. So I believe that you guys, if I click on new chat, you can type in, like if I was to type in, I'm not gonna type in, but if I type in my name or someone that you wanna talk to, you can actually create a live chat to them. And then once that comes up, we can start, if you're trying to contact me, we could start to chat back and forth in real time. Okay, so that's how you do the chat, is this little button here, and you can then just search for whoever you want to chat to. That means that you guys could actually create a chat group with each other. Instead of using the post, you can actually start talking to each other here. I'm sure you have your own ways of speaking with each other. Don't ask me to join up to Snapchat or anything. That's not going to happen. So this Teams and our emails is what you're going to have to use to get to me. Okay, so your assignments is here too. Your Teams is just what different if you have more than one Teams things, and like there's lots of little tools here that you should explore. But in order to get in contact with me, use this chat. The other thing is there should actually be a call. Let me see. I thought there was actually a call. I don't know why my call isn't showing up. But you can actually send voice messages too. Um, so again, I'm learning it all as well at the same time. So that gives you a little bit of OneNote, or not OneNote, but Teams. Showing you some of the features. Okay, so I'm just looking down my list to see if I'm missing anything. Just some of your comments were interesting, and I might talk about some of them later. Um, it was really interesting reading some of your stories and how you're actually using your time. A lot of people are doing walks. They're discovering their property, and they're walking around. If you have a lot of property, it's awesome. Do your walks to the back. I have great memories for just wandering around my old property when I was a kid. I knew every square inch. It was a great place to explore. Some of you are talking about how you're connecting more with your families, which is amazing. And by the way, say thank you. Be happy. Actually, give some people some positive energy. Reach out to people you haven't talked to before. You have time. Some of you are talking about being bored. Why don't you try actually connecting with some people, helping them out, giving something back in some way. Try not to be a cranky, entitled teenager at this point. It doesn't help. And I'm hoping that this kind of pandemic will kind of teach you just some empathy and some resilience to certain things. You have a responsibility to be a good kid and try not to make the situation worse for anyone else. Okay, everyone's in the same boat. We're all struggling with different things. So why not try to help out instead of making the problem worse? And I haven't seen, everyone's comments have been really good. I mean, it doesn't seem like anyone's making the problem worse. It's just, hey, maybe you might want to think about it. There's been a lot of stories in the media about how people are just cranky and man, I've gone to a grocery store. There's been some positive things, but there's been some cranky and weird, just angry people because their life has changed. How are you going to adapt to it? Let's make it a positive thing. There was an interesting environmental connection that I would talk about in another chat. And what I'm noticing is sentence structure, guys. Woo! If I put run-on sentence, it means that you've combined too many thoughts, too many sentences into one, and you need to break it up. You can make a compound sentence, but there's two sentences put together, but it has to have some sort of transition, some sort of way of connecting them together. Otherwise, they should be individual sentences. So if I handed something back to you, then it is just see if you can do the corrections. It's something else that we're going to have to work through. The other thing is I'm going to be asking you to get on your Prodigy accounts for certain assignments and stuff. So see if you can log into that. Okay, so this is why you do a video, because it takes a long time to get through this stuff. So I am going to try and finally post this. So we'll say goodbye for today. I'll be available between 10 and 12. And yeah, let's make this a good day. We'll see you again. Maybe I'll be in a different room. I don't know. We'll see. The surprises. I have a project to show you at some point. I've been working on a lot of different things. So that will be upcoming. Take care.